Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and 3 years ago I made a video titled Nikocado Avocado Needs Serious Help. Now Nikocado Avocado was one of YouTube's, and still is, biggest mukbangers, okay? Now if you don't know what the topic of mukbang is, ladies and gentlemen, if you go on YouTube right now and drop in mukbang, you'll find tons of content creators who are engorging themselves with crazy amounts of food. Like this ASMR channel, a full English breakfast. You know, I couldn't even stomach one English breakfast, but this guy's deciding to stomach what appears to be enough to feed at least 15 people, okay? Insane stuff. You go down, you can see one guy, Gongshim Table, and of course, if you're seeing that I'm missing the 3 squares, I don't have the emoji pack, okay? Sue me. This guy goes and eats all this KFC product, okay? Now, the fact that we're buying KFC instead of Popeyes should be considered a national crime, but anyways, the point is, lots of food being engorged at any single time. Now, this has become such a popular piece of content, and it's not anything new. If you look into the history of mukbangs, here's a historical background. Korea had traditionally a food culture based on healthy eating practices and strict Confucian etiquette. However, a new food culture since the late 2000s has emerged in South Korea, characterized by internet eating culture. So basically, on one of the first internet TV services, Africa TV in 2009, effectively what happens is this mass amount of consuming product has become all but normal in the world of online content creation. One of the actual popular content creators, we're looking at 2 million subscribers, 10 years ago, 500,000 people signed up to watch this fella eat a bunch of cake. And you can see it's filmed right on Africa TV. And if you're wondering, Muda, he probably eats just like one slice of these 2 cakes. No, thankfully we have a mouse cursor and we can go forward in time, and he's just slicing off what appears to be at least 2 servings of cake. And yeah, he's just chewing it all away. Now you might be like, whoa, Muda, how does he maintain that figure while eating? Let me tell you something, metabolism. You see that gym set in the back? All right, this guy definitely is working out, obviously, after all of the consumption. And I don't even know if this food is all in the body, if it's not thrown up. Honestly, with a lot of this stuff, I genuinely do wonder how bodies process this copious amount of food. And you know, I always like to forward and look at the food and just see if there's been wastage. Oh no! That's 2 fucking cakes down, boys. And what do you wash that down with? A gallon of delicious milk. Now, of course, in this entire piece, all right, people consume different foods. You know, you got some people consuming live animals, as cruel as that sounds. But then you've got one individual over here, Nikocado, who decides, yeah, I'm not just going to consume a vast amount of food, but I'm going to add some spicy drama to the mix as well. So, or, you know, Nikocado Avocado was kind of like a YouTube villain for a while. You know, he was buying these quote-unquote $2.3 million penthouses where he was obviously playing a character.
You guys!
Like, he buys this, like, $2 million penthouse, and you just gotta listen to how comically evil his character has to be.
It's called Watch the World Struggle. Oh, it's a fun show. You know, I sit up here in my tower and watch everyone struggle and be poor.
You know, in the last several years, in the last year, I've honestly seen my barometer for, like, evil person get so bad. This is clearly a character that he's playing, obviously. You know, but at the end of the day, this is, like, something that he did, and when he was consuming food at his best, like, a year ago, you're talking about sitting with his husband, Orlin, who he'd constantly start beef with, and then come back with, you know, they just have to make out again. And then he's sitting there collaborating with other people. And this channel was doing really well, all right? He had no reason to change. The world was rewarding the ability of eating all of this food at one point. Takis? This man would inhale them. So why am I talking about Nikocado right now? Well, ladies and gentlemen, apparently he's lost it all. So a day ago, I actually missed this. And my wife had sent this to me while I was working. And I was actually blown away. I thought I was witnessing artificial intelligence. So when I saw this thumbnail, I was like, whoa, this can't be real. Well, apparently it is.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment of my entire life. It's alluring. It's compelling. It's gripping to observe all these unwell, disoriented beings roam the internet in search of stories.
Now, this wouldn't be that big of a deal, but this is a video from 2 years ago where our buddy is delivering this exact monologue, which shows you that, yes, this is in fact the most dedicated troll on his haters that I've ever actually seen. Honestly, like, no matter what side of the fence you sit on here, you have got to respect this level of trolling. This man is truly some level of a weird internet Christian Bale comedic genius, and I appreciate it. 2 years in the making for this. 2 years to get healthier and to troll the audience. So, yeah, obviously if you followed any of these, like, channels that was cataloging him pretty much every day, there was a lot of speculation into his personal life. Again, I brought up Orlin and I brought up, like, his collaborations with people because, yeah, we'd play these characters and people would just jump in and try to, like, go in and kind of concern troll and be there. But, yeah, he ended up coming back and literally not just also mukbanging the same food. It's literally him. It actually is. And trust me, I've tried putting this through all forms of artificial intelligence to make sure. We here at the Some Ordinary Laboratory have tried figuring out with the best scientists that we have. This doesn't look edited at all. So he's clearly got, some loose skin as well. Like, you can kind of almost spot it around his arms too. But he's done a pretty good job losing all of that weight, which proves to anybody that weight loss is not something that is impossible. Remind you, Nikocado Avocado was a very, very heavy individual. If we're going to go back in time and just witness Nikocado Avocado, this was just one image of him at his worst, okay? So this one clip where he's sitting on his bed with all this Taco Bell and a CPAP machine, yeah, this was like at his worst, okay? This is like crazy shit. And this is to a point where obviously people are wondering, at what point does mukbanging become something known as self-harm? So obviously YouTube had a rule around this situation as well. They say, YouTube, we take health and well-being of our creators and viewers seriously. Oh, with that guy? I don't know. So what they said was, they post content discussing their experiences with depression, self-harm, eating disorders, and other mental health issues. I don't know if, at what point is a mukbang and eating like 30 pounds of Takis in one moment not considered a live eating disorder that's happening? So what they said is, we do not allow content on YouTube that promotes suicide, self-harm, or eating disorders that is intended to shock or disgust. Now, I didn't see anybody getting titillated by any of those mukbangs, but yeah, it was insane. And obviously, Nikocado would kind of play into the weight at the time too. So he would do these like crazy hamburger eating challenges. Like, I don't want to be fat anymore, as I have, heart attack grill burgers right there. I'm getting fat and don't know why. Really? Ow, 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 ow. I messed up my neck. Ow! I've been jerking off with icy hot patches for like 2 days now. It's insane. Pinched nerves are no fun. But really? You don't know why you're getting fat? Come on now. Even with weight loss Nikocado Avocado, he gets all the cheesiest noodles imaginable and still consumes them. Which is one thing I wanted to ask about any of these videos is like, why is it always the same set of noodles you can find? And if it's one thing I find about him is he not only consumes basically all of this food, but him losing all this weight is genuinely impressive. So how did Nikocado lose all this weight and how did it become a secret? Well, based on stuff that he was uploading like 3 months ago, he was posting stuff like, I quit my weight loss journey, time to get fat again. So it's kind of like playing into the internet hating on him for these weight loss journeys and kind of like, just basically treating him like a villain. And what he had done apparently was record a whole bunch of these videos and backlog them, which obviously isn't really difficult to do. It's not as if there's a massive amount of time or production value needed to produce a mukbang. It really is just buy a lot of food and film yourself eating. So he most likely filmed a lot of this stuff throughout like the course of, I don't know, a month or something, and then spent like a massive year just like losing weight to the point where as he was uploading this silently over the year, and obviously these weren't like daily uploads, they were like pretty far spread out. So you'd upload like a year ago, then 5 months ago, then 3 months ago, and then obviously would come back. The thing is, Nikocado really didn't have any reason to do this from like a YouTube view perspective because his channel did pretty well, even when uploading this content. But I assume that he did this because obviously losing any amount of weight, especially the amount of weight that he did, has nothing but positives in your life. Now, I used to be a bigger guy. I'm still, a fat dude. But at the end of the day, it's like losing even just a little weight meant me not having like a chronic pain issue in limbs or anything and back down to normality. Like nowadays, I don't feel any pain stuff whatsoever. The only thing I have a pain for is a pinched nerve in my neck, which is driving me insane. But thankfully, icy hot patches every day, all day, and hopefully it'll get better. But generally, when you're bigger, like Nikocado was, you got to sleep with like CPAP machines. Life becomes annoying to deal with. So Nikocado achieves generally good health. And as somebody that wishes the best for people, like, at the end of the day, YouTube, like, he might be a villain, but I wouldn't consider Nikocado Avocado to be a truly evil individual. In the last 6 months on YouTube, I've seen plenty of evil characters. I think some of the most evil behavior I've seen is individuals outright scamming their fans and faking cancer, okay? Trust me, I don't think anybody else in the barometer of internet villainy is as evil as somebody that fakes cancer. And at least in Nikocado's case, he was some, villainous character. He was, at the end of the day, playing a character, but he's come back and he's lost the weight. And genuinely, he's a pretty good personality to watch. And honestly, I consider this inspiring enough to show to the channel. But also, it is something that is quite possibly the best ending to have. Generally a person like Nikocado Avocado, if he went the trajectory he was going at, it's a very early grave, but thankfully he gets to live longer, feel better, and ultimately entertain his audience for a longer time. And honestly, all of those things are severe positives, and it's something that I genuinely feel inspired and happy watching. It's probably some of the only positive stuff that I've seen on the internet, especially in a sea of wild negativity over the last several months. So this is something that I think is absolutely heartwarming to watch. And honestly, I'm really happy for him. And to be fair, even all the negative things that I might have said about his villainous character, it's worth taking back. Everything I said, aged like milk, literally aged like milk. He did it. He achieved the best ending. So while Nikocado here literally spends 2 years, I believe, I think it's more 2 years, not 1 year, obviously. I don't think you can lose the amount of weight he did in just a year, unless you started really delving into like tapeworms. So he recorded like 2 years worth of videos just for like controversy to like develop and play the social experiment, basically troll the internet in a way where he could lose all this weight, come back, and be healthier. And I'm actually more interested in seeing the long-term effects on his body. Like, even though he's lost all this weight, I wonder what he's done to his body that can't be reversed because of such a weight gain. He really did like the Christian Bale shit on the internet where he like quite literally body transformed. So I'm more interested now in seeing what he's done to his body. But ultimately, the positives obviously outweigh the negatives. He's a lot better, feels a lot better than he ever did before. And ultimately, it's the biggest troll on some of his largest critics. Like, this is quite possibly redemption arc of the decade. 250 pounds lost in 2 years. That's like literally basically losing just all of my weight. That's insane, dude. That is wild stuff. But yeah, he's a mad lad that did it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Nikocado Avocado won the internet, quite literally. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.